Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Stoop. And in this video, I'm going to just be talking about some very big key points and some things that are very important to me, and also some things that I wish I knew before I got into the trucking game, and also just commercial driving as a whole. I'm coming with this video because I had a long ass day. My day started at 7 o'clock. We had a training meeting, and I probably shouldn't disclose what company I work for right now. I'm gonna try to do this without any cuts. I'm not the greatest at making videos, but I don't even got a phone stand. But I figure I just gotta throw it out there. Hopefully somebody could get some sort of content out of this, or just, some food for thought. And I got a notepad with me because I'm not always the greatest when it comes to keep staying on point and making my talking points very brief. But the first one I would say is I'm gonna go with the first 5 positive things, and then I'll go with 5 other things in the game. These are gonna be the 5 negative things that I haven't that I wish I knew and that I also learned. I've been truck driving 2.5 years. This is gonna be my 3rd year, and currently right now I'm doing HazMat tanker. It's regional, but I do get over the road. I wish it was a little bit longer hauls, but hey, we take it when we can get it. But the first one, I would say, and the most important thing for me really, is trucking changed my life. I was working a lot of, I wouldn't want to say dead-end jobs, but jobs that didn't have much growth, or they weren't very conducive to the things I wanted to do in my life. It's changed my life completely. I've been able to buy property, have all my the cars I have right now, they're all paid off, and I live a very frugal life. Like I drive a beater, and then my other car is just a car I really like. But the amount, the money isn't is life changing if you work in a warehouse and you're not hitting overtime, or the pay just isn't the greatest. I worked a lot of food service jobs. I did have a few other good jobs. I worked at a courthouse one time for the state, but I couldn't see myself staying there, so I left. Anyways, the second point, this really helped me get on my feet too when I first got my CDL, because I had maybe $800 in my bank account, and I couldn't afford housing. It was pretty much free housing. I started off with Western Express. I did flatbed. I was there for a year. Around like 8 months, I became a trainer, and my training experience wasn't the greatest, but I'm forever thankful for Western Express. I couldn't pass a hair follicle. I don't have a record, but Western Express was the only company around 2022, 2023. They were the only company that gave me a chance. I tried Cisco, I tried Pepsi, I tried local, I tried regional. I was trying everything: car hauling and flatbed, local, everything. I tried it. I couldn't get in with any of the mega carriers because they wouldn't allow me to, because you have to pass a hair follicle. But trucking changed my life. I had free housing, and I always had somewhere to sleep. Now, the one thing I will say about that is that if you have your whole entire life in the truck, if your truck break down, there's a good chance that you're gonna have to leave everything, or if they end up taking the truck away from you. I've heard stories where people lost everything. At one point, I got hurt when I was at Western flatbed. I broke my finger, and they pretty much were trying to leave me in Laredo, Texas. I brought the truck back to the terminal, drove that thing with one hand pretty much the whole way, broken finger. They didn't even want to pay me, but long story short is I had everything in there. They made me throw it. I felt homeless. They made me throw everything in boxes, in bags. And when I came back, half of my stuff was gone. So just keep that in mind. A third talking point. You get to travel and essentially on the dime of the company that you work for. Now you are at work, so and it's not like you could just park up this big 53-foot, 70-foot total truck and trailer anywhere. There's height restrictions, bridge limits, um, and a lot of places, even like Walmart's, they don't like you to park there. Four, you get to interact with a lot of people. That could be a positive or a negative. But for me, I definitely feel like it's helped me evolve, grow, level up, and also just grow as a person. I've been able to talk to a lot of different people from many different walks of life, and interacting with different cultures and people has definitely helped me have a better understanding of the world and just look at the world in a different light. The fifth one, uh, with CDL, there's many different types of driving, and even within truck driving, there's many different subdivisions within truck driving. You could be tanking. I started flatbed. I also did reefer for a little bit. Um, and there's always going to be a need for commercial driving. You could move down to Class B. You could drive Class B tanker. You could be the guy filling up construction site vehicles with fuel. You can be doing a box truck, Class C. You could be working for the CTA, MTA, if you work, in a municipality that they have buses. Now, to change gears, some of the 5 things I wish I knew before I got into truck driving. The first one, yeah, people say it, but I didn't really get it until I was going through the whole entire ordeal. Your first year in truck driving will be a test, and it is going to be, in my opinion, the most difficult year. And that's the biggest hump. Like, if you could get through that year, you pretty much made it. I'm not going to say you're going to get everything and you're going to know everything, all the ins and outs of the game, but that's pretty much the biggest curve that you got to get over, the biggest uphill battle. Once you get through that year, job opportunities will open up for you. You'll understand, you'll have a better understanding of this, spatial awareness, the muscle memory. You'll understand how to back the truck better. But now, on the same end too, do not get comfortable when it comes to driving. A lot of people get into accidents. That's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of companies will not hire you without experience, is because your first year you are statistically likely to hit something or get into an accident, whether it's a moving object, a stationary object. Statistically, you are likely to hit something. Now, I didn't have any major accidents when I first started, but I did hit a lady at a truck stop. She was parked illegally in a creative spot, as we like to call it, creative parking. She made a spot, and I thought I knew what I was doing when I was backing, and I started cutting the wheel too early, and I just boom right into her driver's side. It was my blind side, but I wasn't doing a blind side back, but I hit her on my passenger side. The second one, you will struggle and you will have a lot of bad days. Now, I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade or fear monger, but within trucking, you are gonna have a lot of long days. You're gonna have bad days. You probably will have a breakdown at some point within your first year. It's almost guaranteed. It's a work truck. It's going to break down, and there's gonna be things that you're not gonna realize, or things that just happen along the way. You might have a blowout. You might today I just had a short on my trailer. I forgot I could have just checked the fuses myself, but that slipped my mind. And I had to wait for roadside for about an hour and a half. And all he came in here, it was 10 minutes. He swapped the fuses and I was good to go. And the third one, the pay will most likely be bad. Unless you're doing a very labor intensive or very specialized job or have an somebody could give you a job hauling HazMat, no experience, the manager, You know, somebody might have a car hauler, or you might be able to work for a local owner op. More than likely, you are not going to be making the money you feel you deserve. I started off at 50 cents a mile. No, 48 cents a mile when I first started with Western. I capped out at 54 cents before I left. And like they say, if the wheels ain't turning, you ain't earning. You know, it's either you're gonna put in the hourly and you're gonna bank on your overtime, or you're gonna have to put down a lot of miles if you want to make money in this game. And that leads into my next point. You are gonna have a lot of long days, like I said. It's not out of this world to have a 14-hour day, 18-hour day. You know, you can stop your clock. And a lot of times on paper, you stopped your clock, or on the log, you stopped your clock, but you're still working. You know, my first load with flatbed, that took me over 6 hours. I had to get it weighed 2 times, and I had to secure it. It was a coil coming out of Michigan. I had to secure it twice. The second load was probably a 3-hour load. I had to tarp it, chain it. It was an oversized load going up to Minnesota out of Chicago. And the fifth one is my final one. There's lots of stress that's gonna come with the job. You know, you're gonna have a lot of tight maneuvers. You're gonna have a lot of close calls with people cutting you off, or you almost hitting something in a turn, you eating the curb, and this is kind of this is a this is just food for thought. This is kind of like a runner-up. Your backing, even within a year, some people, most people, your backing is not going to be great. So, and that's pretty much, you do backing maybe 5% of the time, but that's also where the majority of your accidents happen. So don't rush the process. Trust the process. Believe in yourself. And you know, it's like anything. You just have to do the reps. You have to put the reps in. You have to put in the time. And it's an acquired skill. Nobody was born a super trucker. Yeah, some people get it easier than others. So yeah, some people are naturally more gifted. But like anything, even those who are naturally gifted, you have to work on the skill. Now, that being said, I hope y'all have a good one. And to those of y'all thinking about getting into truck driving or commercial driving, if you're thinking about it, just do it. It changed my life, and it will change your life. Thanks, y'all. Peace and love.